Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is on makeup brushes, and more specifically what makeup brushes to get if you're a beginner and don't know what makeup brushes to get. That was a really bad intro, Kat. Anyway, obviously today's video is on makeup brushes and what brushes I'd recommend you get if you're a beginner. I'm going to give you some Zoeva and MAC and Sigma alternatives when I have them. So yeah, if you want to learn about makeup brushes, just keep watching. So the first brush that I want to talk to you guys about isn't actually a brush, so we are off to a great start with this video. I'm sure you guys guessed it, and the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the Beauty Blender. Actually, this is really dirty and disgusting. I think I have a clean one somewhere, hold on. Here we go. So this is the Beauty Blender blending sponge. This is awesome for blending out your foundation or your concealer, or even your powder too. It gives like a really nice airbrush finish and doesn't leave any brush strokes because obviously it's not a brush. The only thing is it does soak up any excess product, so you're not going to get as full a coverage with the first layer as you would if you use a brush. But I would highly recommend one of these. They are absolutely amazing. And if you can't afford the Beauty Blender, the other sponge that I recommend is the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge. I think this is about half the price and it does a really similar job to the Beauty Blender. The only difference I find is that the Beauty Blender gives more of a flawless finish and it soaks up the tiniest bit less product. But if you're starting out, you're probably on a budget, so I'd probably just go with the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge. Alternatively, if sponges aren't really a thing or you want some more coverage, the brushes that I'd recommend are the Sigma Angled Kabuki F84 brush for foundation. This is so soft and it's like the perfect shape to get in your face crevices. That sounded kind of weird, but I'm sure you guys know what I mean. And because it is so soft, it doesn't leave any obvious brush strokes either. And then to blend out concealer, I'd recommend the Sigma Soft Blend Concealer F64 brush. This brush is also a really great shape to get in and around like the smaller areas of your face as well. So like under your eyes and around like your mouth and stuff too. So I'm going to kind of do these brushes in the order that I would use them. So now after you've applied your foundation and concealer, you want to set it. And to set it, I'd highly recommend getting the Real Techniques setting brush. Again, this is like the perfect shape to get the smaller areas of your face. So under your eyes, your eyelids, around your mouth, your nose. And it's relatively cheap too. I think this is about $10. Then to set the rest of your face, you just want to use a powder brush. The one that I use is the Sigma Large Powder F20 brush. But seriously, you don't need to spend a lot of money on a powder brush. As long as it's big and it's fluffy, it's gonna do the job. So if you can get a cheap one from your local drugstore, just get it. As long as it's big and fluffy and doesn't shed, you'll be right. So next up is contouring, and I have two brushes to show you. This one is the Sigma Small Contour F05 brush, and this is the MAC 109 brush. These brushes are literally the same, so just take your pick. But the shape of these brushes are just perfect to get under your cheekbone and then to blend it upwards. So yeah, I highly recommend either of these. Next up is blush, and my two favorites are the Sigma Large Angled Contour F40 and the MAC 168 brush. Again, these brushes are pretty much the same. If anything, the Sigma brush is just a little bit softer and less dense. But again, these brushes pretty much do the exact same job, and they're the perfect shape to get the apples of your cheeks and then up along your cheekbones. The next brush is a completely optional brush, and that's the Sigma Tapered Highlighter brush. If you're on a budget, seriously, just use the Real Techniques setting brush after you set your concealer. Just go in with the highlighter with this one. But if you do have the money to spare and you want a separate highlighting brush, I definitely recommend this one. It's just a really nice tapered shape to highlight your cheekbones and the center of your face too. Okay, so I think that's all the face brushes that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now onto eye brushes. So the first eye brush I recommend you guys get is the Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush. This brush is great for blending transition colors or blending any colors into your crease. But if you think your eyes are more on the smaller side, I'd recommend you go for the Sigma Tapered Blending E35 or the MAC 224 or the Zoeva Luxe Crease 228 brush. These are the tiniest bit smaller than the E40 brush. The MAC and Sigma brushes are the exact same, just different colors, and the Zoeva brush is the tiniest bit more tapered, so it's just really going to depend on your personal preference. Next up, I'd recommend getting a flat shader brush. The two that I'd recommend are the MAC 239 brush or the Zoeva Luxe Smoky Shader 234 brush. These two are exactly the same. If you do want a Sigma brush, you can go for the Sigma Firm Shader E57 brush. Personally, I do prefer the MAC and Zoeva flat shader brushes just because I find the Sigma brush is just the tiniest bit fluffier, so it doesn't pack on as much color. Next up are blending brushes, and the two that I have are exactly the same. This is the Sigma Blending E25 and the MAC 217 brush. These are both perfect for blending out eyeshadow and also blending colors into your crease more precisely. Zoeva does make one and I had it, but I lost it. But I really liked it when I had it, and it was exactly the same as these two as well. The next brush that I recommend you guys get is a pencil brush. And the two that I have, again, are exactly the same. So this one is the Sigma Pencil E30 and this is the MAC 219 brush. Pencil brushes are great for smudging colors into your lower lash line or even just packing on color to your lid as well. Like I said, these two are exactly the same, so just take your pick. Okay, so next up are eyeliner brushes, and I have a lot to talk about. So the first ones are the Makeup Geek Bent Liner Brush, the MAC 210 brush, the Sigma Small Eyeliner E10 brush. I would only recommend you get one of these. They all do the exact same job. Personally, my favorite is the Makeup Geek Bent Liner Brush because it's bent, so it kind of just goes over your eyelashes. And these brushes are great for liquid or gel eyeliner when you just want to draw like a really thin line. But if these thin brushes aren't really your style, there's also angled liner brushes, and the two that I have to talk to you guys about are the Sigma Small Angled E65 brush and the Zoeva 317 Winged Liner Brush. Personally, I find these do the exact same job. I know that Jaclyn Hill absolutely loves the Small Angle E65 brush. And the Zoeva brush is on more of a slant, so again, it's going to come down to personal preference. Now I want to recommend some eyebrow brushes, and these two are the MAC 266 brush and the Sigma Angled Brow E75 brush. I used to absolutely love the MAC 266 brush, but now I sort of changed to the Sigma brush just because it is smaller. They're on the same angle, but because the Sigma brush is that tiniest bit smaller, I find that I get more precision with this brush. But both of these brushes work great with powder and pomade. Obviously, if you're using a pencil, you don't really need an eyebrow brush. I forgot a face brush. So the face brush that I should have mentioned before is a concealer brush. And the two that I have here are the Sigma Concealer F70, and this is just the Manicure concealer brush. Again, both of these do the exact same job, and they're great for tidying up lipstick or like tidying up the edges of eyeshadow. The next brush that I want to recommend to you guys is a lip brush. Now I don't have any other lip brushes, so I can't really compare it to anything, but this is the Sigma Lip L05 brush. Now these are great for applying darker lipsticks or if you struggle with precision with lipsticks, but obviously if you're fine with applying lipstick straight from the bullet, save your money and don't get a lip brush. Now the very last thing that I recommend you guys get isn't a brush. We started this with not a brush and we're going to finish this with not a brush. So the last thing that I recommend you guys get is an eyelash curler. Now eyelash curlers are something that I don't think you need to spend a lot of money on either. This one is just like a generic freebie one that I got with some Mary Kay stuff like literally 5 years ago, and it works fine. Now I know I'm going to get asked this question, and that's going to be, should I buy Sigma, MAC or Zoeva? And to be honest, it's up to you guys. I just want to let you guys know that I am a Sigma affiliate, but I started using their brushes way before I became affiliated with them, and I absolutely love all the brushes that I've mentioned today, whether it be MAC, Zoeva or Sigma. Just some things that I wanted to mention are Sigma uses synthetic bristles, so there's no animal cruelty involved. From my understanding, MAC uses a lot, if not all, natural bristles, which means that they come from animals. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know much about Zoeva. They sent me a few brushes and I like them, but I don't know much about the company itself. Also, another thing is, I don't know about in the States, but in Australia, Sigma is literally half the price of MAC. But I know MAC is more accessible. Like with the MAC brushes, you can just go into a MAC counter, pick up whatever you need. But with Sigma you do have to order them online, and same with Zoeva. But if you do choose to go with Sigma, I do have a 10% off discount code, and that is CAT10. This is an affiliate code, so it's up to you guys whether you use it or not. I didn't make this video to just tell you guys my code. This video was highly requested, and seriously, every time I upload a video, I get at least 10 comments being like, can you help me? I don't know what brushes to get. So instead of answering everyone like individually over and over again, I just thought I'd make this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching and found this video helpful. As usual, if you did like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!